You've heard love yourself 1,000 times, but have you ever stopped and asked yourself, where are you on that journey? I'm Victoria, and this is where you remember how beautiful you actually are. Let me tell you something that changed everything for me. In 2024, I burned out, and like anyone else going through the burnout effects, I did everything, the healing, the inner work, used all the tools that came into my life, and I was rebuilding myself from inside out. And this is what I experienced. Things will shift and then they will collapse. I progress and then back to the wobble. So I felt I was doing two step forwards, one step back, and I couldn't understand why nothing was holding. Till one day when I realized what was missing. For me, it seemed like I was building a house on a very cracked foundation and nothing was standing. And that foundation, it's self love. And I know everyone's talking about identity, mindset, nervous system, and I'm all in for that because I use it in my work and I use it in my own journey. But none of it holds if there's no self love underneath it. And as a curious person, I did what I always do. I don't just see what I feel, I go and do research. I just was curious to see what research is going to tell me about self love. And what I found is that there are 7 levels where you can find yourself on the self love scale. There's no official scale. The levels are there, but the scale, it's a little bit mine. Level 1, self rejection. Self rejection, it's when your inner critic is very loud, is when you feel worthy or enough only through achievements and you push yourself through all of it. And if you're there, there's no shame. Don't feel shame. I've been there for so long. I lived in that for so long. There's a way out. And we'll talk about that. The next level is self awareness. This is when the door opens to all other levels. A beautiful gift of awareness. It's when you start noticing your inner critic, when you start getting curious about your reactions and emotions, and you start learning more and more about it. The next step after that is self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is truly when you start integrating your shadows. And yes, I said not fixing them, not pushing them, not deleting them, not getting them out of your life, truly incorporating your shadows because you can't be whole unless you have all parts of you. And the level after that is self-compassion. And with self-compassion is when you start treating yourself as you treat your best friend, right? We give our love and compassion so easily to anyone, but to ourselves. So this is when you start treating yourself that way. You start giving to yourself that love. And the level after that is self-trust. And this is when you live your life, you start living your life from inner authority. So you trust your intuition and you start feeling safe to be completely yourself, to be authentic to yourself. The next one is self honor. And that's when you live your life from alignment. So you're very mindful of your surroundings, you're very conscious of who you let in your space. And the highest level, which I would love for all of us to reach, it's unconditional self love. And this is truly when you get to that point, you live your life from a state of peace and love, and nothing on the outside brings worthiness to you because you're already worthy enough inside. Where life happens, but the way you react to life, so from a completely different place. So I hope this spark something in you and you're interested now to look at yourself and see where you end up on that scale. So let me give you a easy exercise that you can practice and see so to find yourself. As a reminder, a self-love or any inner growth journey, it's not linear. So it's spiral or up and down. So be kind to yourself. This is what you're going to do. You're going to take a journal and write a scale 1 to 10. 1, you'll put least love, least self-love specifically. So, and then you'll write an example. When did you feel the least self-love? And then on number 10, the deepest self-love that you felt. And you put a specific example on what is that moment in your life happened. And then from 1 to 10, you look at 5 and classify somewhere in the middle. Now, when you take this, if you truly want to see where you're at, you can play either a few days a week or a week just to journal every day to see where you were on a scale and a different time of the day. And you'll find that there's a pattern there. That maybe you at work are lower, at home higher, or other way around. You'll see a pattern where your deepest self-love shows up and where your self-love dwindles and disappears. This is data. This is no judgments, no analytics. It's truly data for you to see where shifts could be very helpful for you. So in next episodes, we'll go deeper into each level and with tools that you can use, that I used for myself to step into the next level. And comment below where you find yourself on that scale. I'm very, very curious to see where you're at. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.